Where's my check? Why is there no volume in here? Weird. Strange. This thing needs some WD-40. Hey, Brooke. Just getting started, just setting some stuff up. Why is this thing so wobbly? Maybe I should have put this behind. Yeah, I think I should have. Pull this out. That'll have to do. All right. You beat the notification here. We got some boring weather ahead of us. Maybe it's good. I think people need a break. I think so. A little bit of a break. Actually, you know what? I want one of these Red Bulls. Yeah, what's going on down in Charlotte? What's going on down in Charlotte? Switched it over to Radar Omega real quick. You guys are chilling. Nothing major going on down here. Some thunderstorms, some light rain. Not expecting anything severe for you guys. Not impossible, but this thing's you've got a lot of stability in that area now with all this rainfall. We might do the do something meme again. It looks like it's gonna be boring for a little bit. Why are you moving? I loved Charlotte. I lived there for a while. Tally, you're almost not even in a marginal risk. But tomorrow, a little bit of a tornado chance out here, Tally. A little bit of a tornado chance. Not a major one, but a little one. Okay. Can you guys hear me? I feel like my volume's extra low today. Just going to my settings. I'll figure that out later. Yeah, fine. Okay. Let's take a look at tomorrow for you guys. Convection allowing H triple R. What is going on, everybody? Oh yeah, a little discrete setup. Yeah, things look to amp up as we get into 8 a.m. tomorrow. Tally. So you can see discrete cells moving through, and then that main squall line QLCS moving through 12 in the afternoon, 1 in the afternoon. Yeah. So it's gonna start early. You could get some isolated thunderstorms very early, as early as 7, 8 in the morning, and then you might not be done with that severe weather until potentially. I mean, this is your major severe weather is probably going to be ending at around 5 in the afternoon. But I'd watch out from around 8 a.m. all the way to around 5 p.m. Like 9 to 5. 9 to 5. There's some more thunderstorms back here that'll be moving in the evening time, but this will likely not be severe. You'll be rain cooled by then. You'll have an okay stability over your area. So a nasty hook on a radar near Macon, Georgia earlier today. Are there any videos of it? Was it really a bad one? We weren't expecting any major or SIG tours today, but it's not impossible. I haven't seen any videos of it yet. I have not. Yeah, I mean, you know, the severe threat out here in the Carolinas. I see people asking about the Carolinas. It's there. It's not super dangerous. You guys got a little marginal and categorical out here. So southeastern Georgia, central to southeastern South Carolina, and then, you know, parts of the Panhandle, northern Florida up here. A little bit of a slight risk. This is just a marginal up the coast, but we can go break this down a little bit more into our tornado threat. 5%, 2%, nothing major. Definitely a reason to have weather alerts on. Tomorrow, though, and then as we get into our wind threats, about the same, nothing major, and then a slight 2% hail threat as well. So, or sorry, 5% hail threat. So, can you make it rain more in Tennessee, please? There's flooding happening in Tennessee, aren't there? I've been good, Stout. I've been good. I'm only going to be on for about 30 minutes today. There wasn't much going on. You know, there was a little severe weather today. I got to get on and watch the finale of White Lotus. I got to watch the finale with my wife. Will it snow in Connecticut tonight? Let's take a look at that. I've had this cough for so long. It's so annoying. Yeah, we can take a look at that. Let's switch back over to Pivotal Weather. Okay, so let's go into our HRRR. Let's look at our total Kuchera. Okay, so this is 48 hours. Let's go into the 22. Let's go to 18 hours. Okay, well, fine. We'll look at our 18Z. And then we'll push up into the Northeast. Here's your 48-hour snowfall for the Northeast. Almost wanting to put a little bit into Boston, but that's the HRRR. I have a feeling the Euro is not going to show this much snow. It has like a dusting into Pittsburgh, but that's it. Our Euro's done better than short range sometimes. So you can see what our short range shows. I think our short range might be a little more correct. Our Euro might be a little more correct than our short range. I think that might be more correct. Giving none into Connecticut, but we'll see. I like the NAM 3K on snow. So let me actually take a look at the NAM 3K. I like the NAM 3K on snow. Okay. I'll fall in line with this. NAM 3K kind of did a blend of both. So still pretty much cutting off Connecticut from snow, though. Dusting through Boston. A little bit more through Western. Good amount of snow up here through portions of New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. And then upstate New York seeing decent snow as well. No problem. What is with this weather? Weird, right? Well, the temperatures are what's going to be crazy. I mean, this is going to go down. We had the coldest winter in 50 years in the Northeast, or for the Mid-Atlantic and portions of the Northeast up here. We had a very cold. We had a very cold winter in general, but January set records. And this April, looking ahead, guys, we have below average temperatures out here for a very long period of time. I got to show you this. Let me zoom out, not just for the Northeast, but let me zoom out here and show you guys everywhere. Let's get into the Euro. Let's back it on up. So let's see, departures. Look at this. Cold weather sinking in. I mean, we're pretty much below average for everyone in Central Plains out east. And this, look at this stick around out east. Stick around. Still pretty much below average for most of the east. That's all the way through April 12th. But if I go back to the 12Z, look what happens after April 12th. And then, a little bit of a warm-up, and then boom. Immediately, we have cold temperatures sinking back in again. Cold. It looks like it's going to end up being below average April. You know, after having the globe be warmer than normal for a year straight, the eastern U.S. has been below average for most of the last 6 months. Very interesting. Yali, what's going on? What is going on? Yali is, let's see here. Yali is now a moderator. There we go. Gonna be in the 50s in April in North Carolina. I know it's gonna be in the 20s here in Philly, I think, this week in April. Yeah, I mean, our low on Wednesday here is 28. We're almost getting into the teens, April 9th here. Our feels like low is 21 degrees. Almost halfway through April, or getting into the mid-April time. Pretty crazy. You planted today, Ashley? The low here tomorrow is in the 30s. It was an 89 degrees Friday. You've got to live somewhere out here in the plains. Center country. That's what happens. Let's see here. What's going to happen in Columbia, South Carolina? Why is everyone worried about Columbia, South Carolina? Is something bad going to happen there? I've been asked that. You got a little severe weather moving out towards the east. Not extremely dangerous, though. It's not looking extremely dangerous. Let's go into our day 2 risk here. You guys are in a marginal, so 1 out of 5 risk. This stuff isn't looking very severe. It's a big mess of moisture. There's not really any good sort of inflow, or probably not much cape there for strong updrafts and hail, wind type events. So you get some bad thunderstorms. It's not impossible to get severe weather through Columbia, but it's not looking very likely. You guys are in the 2% tornado risk, so there's a very, very, very low tornado risk. I'd stay weather alert in Columbia, but nothing to worry about too much. Nothing to worry about too much. You're in a 2% tornado risk, and then you've got a 5% wind and pretty much no hail, marginal overall. You guys see worse weather than this on an average Tuesday sometimes. This is Radar Omega. I thought my cough was gone. It disappeared for 5 days and came back. I have a 2-year-old son, so, he just gets me sick every single time I fucking see him. Kids just keep getting you sick. AccuWeather glitching with these lingering storms. Yeah. Radar Omega's pretty good. I'm pretty sure you can use a free version of Radar Omega, but even the initial paid version that gives you most of the stuff you want, it's something cheap. It's like $7 a month or something like that. It's really cheap. But I think there's a free version too that does most of what you need. Yeah, the kid plagues. Oh God. Every time he comes home and anytime I start seeing him start coughing and his nose running, I'm like, oh, here it goes. I'm next. Yeah. I just talked about that snow. We can go take another look at that. Someone said, are we getting snow upstate? Made this transition a little bit better. Morgantown, North Carolina. Morgantown, will there be bad storms? Yeah, Blaine, North Carolina, we're not expecting anything too severe there. There's a chance for some tornadoes, but they would likely be EF1, EF0. There's not a super high chance. I'd stay weather alert if I'm in the Carolinas, but it's not looking like a super dangerous day. We could have a couple tornado warnings, maybe a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, but it's not looking like a big outbreak or anything major. Stay weather alert, of course. Let me see here. Polar vortex couldn't make up its mind what it was going to do. I'm under a freeze warning in Oklahoma. We had snow last night. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, so looking up in the Northeast, we were just talking about this. I'm going to go with what the NAM 3K model is saying. Well, let's just go with the national blend. Let's just go with the national blend on WeatherBell. I pay enough money for all these subscriptions to access this data. I might as well. It's like $70 a month. I might as well use the data, right? I've got like $300 a month in weather subscriptions, so I can show you guys the good stuff. Let's go into National Blend, and let's switch this so it's more fitting the screen. There we go. Okay. Oh, it just took it off my screen. Let me do this. Interesting. Hello? Hello? There we go. That's what I was looking for. 1 second, guys. It's not registering on both. Okay. So here's what we got going on. Let's take a look. Winter, total snow in inches. Let's move our way up to the northeast. All right. And let's take a look what the National Blend is saying. Let's move through. Let's see, 8th. So this is that initial snow in the beginning of the week. Right there. So, I mean, dusting to an inch into portions of PA. Not much. Fade, we back. Fade, I appreciate you. Fade, you're the first one both times. I appreciate that, Fade. Yeah, not much down here. The National Blend doesn't bring much up here either. Not much in the mass. Maybe a dusting into Boston. But if you were to look, the NAM 3K does pretty good with snow sometimes, and the NAM 3K is a little more bullish on this in some areas. Let me do. Here we go. Let's do this. This is the NAM 3K. So a little bit more snow for areas up in the northeast, but still not a ton. I appreciate you, Fade. Yeah. I made you a mod. If people spam, I'm not gonna mute them, but sometimes I'm not gonna kick them. Sometimes I'll just mute them for 5 minutes because, Do you have a theory as to why the storms are moving at a geriatric pace? Do you mean, why they're creeping along so slow, Ashley? Don't. Yeah. I can. If that's what you mean, I can explain it because they are. We can explain that. There's this entire time, and I can actually show you a satellite here that'll probably explain it a little better. But the entire time here, okay, CONUS. Can I get into? I'm not gonna get good radar right now, am I? Nope, it's too dark. Let's go to. Okay. So what we've had going on is, I got you guys. East Tennessee rain totals. Yeah, we can look at that. You're still getting a little bit out there. What's been going on is we've had a high pressure sitting out here. That's why there's no bad weather. That's why there's no moisture out here. This is the water vapor radar. And it's kind of blocking these storms from going too far to the south. Here's another trough. You can see the trough digging in. And this is another low pressure down here. But so we've had storms funneling through this low and this high over the last 4 or 5 days. And so they're moving very quickly up to the northeast, but they're creeping very slowly this way because this high pressure has been blocking it and slowly moving east. So, and that was an issue. That's why we had so many tornadoes. You have this extremely strong LLJ, lower level jet, and a decently strong mid-level jet ripping through the boundary between the low and the high, causing a lot of rotation in here. But the actual thing was just moving very slowly to the east. Very quickly, storms to the northeast, but the actual whole boundary was moving very slow to the east. It's all associated with this high that's been blocking out here. What up, Charles? NTX, what's going on? What is going on, NTX? NTX, I should get you in my Discord. I'm trying to grow it. Yeah, move on, high pressure. I agree. So what's next from a weather standpoint? Well, we're going to be looking pretty nice. We are going to be looking pretty nice. Let's get back over here. it looks like our weather's going to get pretty nice. Let's zoom out here. Let me answer some more questions. Columbus, Ohio. What about Columbus, Ohio? You guys got a little bit more moisture moving through, but cold air sinking in Columbus, Ohio this week. It's going to get pretty cold, and then a little bit more moisture as we get in towards Thursday and Friday. A little low pressure moving up. This is probably not going to be severe, guys. You can see as we get into Thursday and Friday, troughing, digging down, bringing cold air. Low pressure system moving up the coast Thursday, Friday-ish into Saturday. That doesn't look to be severe. I mean, there's really no severe weather on here until maybe we get a little severe on the 15th here. We might get a week and a half without severe weather or like significant severe weather. You can get severe weather, from little things, but end of April looks to pick up after we get past the 16th, 17th, but it's going to slow down a lot. Yeah, why is it so cold in Texas? Because as soon as that severe weather moved out, you had a big trough settle in. There it is. There's your trough. Cold air found a little funnel, and it is sinking into here. So that's what's going on with that. So if we go here, but that cold air is going to be ushered off to the east, as you can see here. And then we'll get more of and then this is going to be more cold air for the east, although this will probably warm Texas up. This is a ridge building in Texas as we get into the 10th and 11th of this week. So we can just take a look. You can take a look at the temperature departures, what this is going to look like for Texas. Pretty cold. You start to get a good warm up into Texas Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and then you're about average temperatures and staying pretty warm, slightly below average to average. As we really get into as we start off around Wednesday, Thursday, you'll start to see a decent warm up hold. The cold air will continue to sink into the east. See, Texas holds it until we'll see. This is far out. This may not happen. April 18th, April 19th. This would be another huge blast of cold air for us. We'll see. That's a little too far out. We're getting an Omega block. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Not. I don't see too significant of an Omega block. Did you mean the one off to the southeast? Let's look at the GFS. Yeah. Northeastern Texas has been crazy. April and May for Columbus. The GFS is being more aggressive. The GFS is actually calling for a lot more severe weather, unlike the Euro. There's some good storm systems on the GFS moving through. That's interesting. Really quickly before your severe weather is gonna cool down for a while here for at least a week, 2 weeks in Columbus. But we're probably gonna have a below average April in the Columbus, Ohio region. I'm trying to see what the GFS is. The GFS does have a severe weather. It looks like outbreak potential for the Ohio Valley down into the deep south around the 18th and 19th. And then this would be a tornado alley, severe weather outbreak potentially out there in the 21st, but that's way too far. We don't want to get too far into that. Yeah, this has caused major blocking for us. Brett, what's going on? I saw Ovi broke the record. My brother wanted to make a video right away, but he was at work. I saw it. Pretty cool. They said that record was never going to be broken. He had to average 50 goals a season for 18 years. POV, I appreciate you. Is May when severe weather goes up? May is typically, on average, not always, but on average, when we see the most tornadoes. So if the tornado threat is what you're worried about the most, May is typically where we see peak tornadoes. Still going, and then mid-June starts to really drop down. But yeah, May can be dangerous. We've got a pretty early start. 728 severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings on April 2nd. We've already had, in this last week, we've had close to 1,000, or I think we might have broke that, 1,000 severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings in a week. Crazy. NTX, you can add me, Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Just put HQ at the end, add me as a friend. I'll get you in there. You're always in here. I appreciate you, so we'll get you in there. That's where I am. I'm in there. There's updates on there all the time. There's updates like anytime there's a tornado warning, severe weather warning, thunderstorm warning, flood warning, PDS, flash flood emergency, tornado emergency. So all sorts of updates in there. There's a bot, the AI bot that updates them all the time. And if I'm not online, I'm just chatting in there every now and then, seeing how everyone's doing. So just trying to build up the community, you know. I want to get to know everyone and expand. Due to the high pressure temps, the high pressure temps will soar in the Gulf, causing lots of moisture, fueling significant severe weather at the end of April. If we have a high pressure building down there over the Gulf, and you can see what's happening down there over the Gulf. Look at this lack of moisture. And what that lack of moisture means is this thing is going to be baking. This thing is going to be baking. Okay? When you get storms down here and it pulls that surface, that warm surface moisture off the top of the water, and then that warm water at the surface has to be replaced by the water beneath it, which is upwelling, and it cools the water. You see a long period here through April where there's just no storms in this region in the Gulf. That's gonna heat. This thing's gonna be a hot tub as we get into May if that holds, which is dangerous. Especially being in an Enso neutral to La Nina cycle, it's going to be dangerous in May. Is Colorado done with snow? Let's take a look at what the latest Euro thinks. Not much snow in the forecast, but we get out here towards the 14th and 15th. It wants to bring some more snow in, and then a big snowstorm 16th and 17th of April. That would be a ton. But again, that's a little farther out, so we'll have to see, but that would be a lot. If that were to hold out there, 16th, 17th, wanting to put, 50, 60 inches into some areas and 2 feet into Denver, that's very far out. We need to let the models might change this. If you're past 120 hours out, it gets really, things can change drastically. But no, there's still some potential for more good snow in Colorado. At least there's a signal there that it could happen. Thanks, Yali. I have issues trusting anything past 72 hours here in Colorado. Yeah, I like it to be 72 hours. I'm just saying, I'll entertain stuff once it's around 120 hours. Because, then that event's going to happen. The question is, what is the exact tracking and what is the exact... Then I'll say, the snowstorm's going to happen, but I can't really give you confident answers on what are the snow totals or what's the exact path of it. But once you're within 120 hours, that low pressure digging in or whatever isn't going to disappear. It could slow down, wobble, not hold as much moisture as being projected. But yeah, once you're getting within 72 hours, that's when you can kind of entertain totals and localized totals and stuff like that. But it's still tough. Because I've never really seen a storm 120 hours out that just completely disappears. But it can change a lot between 120 and 72 hours. Constance, how is Chicago looking for the next 2 weeks? Some very cold air moving in here in the beginning of this week. Dry though. This wants to give you a little bit of mixing and rain, so could be a little moisture Wednesday. Not much though. Could be a messy day on Wednesday, but overall, look at this. Overall, you guys are maybe dealing with 1 or 2 days of potential rain all the way until the 15th. So overall, it's looking pretty dry. Overall, it's looking pretty dry for the most days. Again, we could get a little bit of rain out there this upcoming Wednesday. In the early hours Thursday, but it's looking pretty dry. Temperature is going to be cold, though. We've got our temperature anomalies up here. Below average, below average, below average, below average. Average to below average all the way out until about the 14th, yeah. Nothing severe until about midway through April, it looks like, though. Nothing's being called right now. Pamela, Michaela, I appreciate you guys. I do have to get off in a second. I got to watch this finale of... What is going on there? Oh, oops. I got to watch finale of White Lotus. Does anyone in here watch White Lotus? Does anyone in here watch White Lotus? The finale's tonight. It's such a good show. And the finale's an hour and a half. It's going to be like a movie. Thanks, Yali. Yeah, I do appreciate you guys. I do appreciate the support. Thank you to anyone who's gifted file just been in here. This is a quick one. I'm probably going to get off. It's going to be tough this week to make videos. I'm actually looking more forward to getting on lives and just chatting and hanging out and having like a breather this week because it's been so intense this last week covering everything. So it'll be more chill streams this week probably because there's not going to be much content to make about U.S. weather. What I might do this week, because you know I post every day. What I might do this week is just study what's going on weather-wise around the world and try to cover some interesting stories each day on my TikTok, and then just come in here and have some chill streams. Yeehaw, Yali. Yeah, we'll take the breather. Everyone have a great night. I appreciate you all. Yeah, for my regulars, if you add me on Discord, Connor's Climate Corner HQ, I'll add you. Once I add you, I have to change your permissions and stuff, but I'm in there when I'm off stream. You know, I'm just putting weather news in there, keeping up to date with what's going on. Santi, don't worry. I saw your message. I'll fix it. All right, guys. See ya. Have a great night, guys.